You remember they're changing my voice. In this video, I'll prove definitively that I am the top martial artist ever possible and that I do not have delusions of grandeur. First of all, here we have academia.edu. Okay? It's a .edu and it's called academia.edu. And if you do enough research, you see that they're right. It says, preventing the rise of a Messiah, the FBI, COINTELPRO, and the Black Messiah. Something to that effect is the title. Again, if I click these things, a lot of times I get cyber attacked, and I have a degree in IT, and they messed up my eyes. They've done things a certain way so that there's not much I can do about it, so I don't click the sites. But this still proves my point, right? Their job was to prevent the rise of a Messiah, and this was only several decades ago. It wasn't that far back, maybe 40 years ago, so on and so forth. Wasn't that long ago, right? 60s, 70s, 80s, when this stuff was really kicking off, okay, is not that long ago. 40, 50 years ago, whatever. Okay. Preventing the Rise of Messiah, The Guardian, pretty famous publication. Hoover issued another directive, preventing the rise of a Messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black national movement. Now, the bottom line is that, of course, I'm not part of that movement, okay? But the bottom line is they're trying to prevent people from challenging their power, especially black people. Now let's go over here, where it says, grandiose delusions. Okay, I've done extensive research into mental health and their studies and seeing their patients on YouTube, giving testimonies and so on and so forth. Okay, and during the course of that, I came across this where it depicted delusions of grandeur as a little fat kitty looking into the mirror and thinking that he's a lion. And I put this leopard here because when we're talking about martial arts, you're better off being a leopard than a lion because it's about outmaneuvering people, right? Bruce Lee, Van Damme, we'll get to that, right? But those guys are, TV guys. But, it illustrates my point of, like Olympic sparring, think outdoor sparring, okay? Outmaneuvering, okay? So here's a picture of me. They edited it to reduce appeal. They made it so my pecs look a little bit breast-like. They reduced the appearance of kind of muscle quality there. And I'll prove that definitively in a second. Here's a picture of a guy who's a thinner guy stabbing like a bigger guy in the gladiator ring. Here's a Mickey Mouse sort of martial art cartoon, okay, to show that they're on some Mickey Mouse punk stuff, right? Okay, here is a comparison with me and Bruce Lee. Okay, now look carefully. If you look carefully, you see that they try to make it so my muscles look flabby when they edit it, right? They added a pink hue. I don't know how well it shows up on the video, but they added like a pink hue, especially right here, okay? You kind of taking, blaming the LGBT community or the LGBT community taking credit for it, okay? And you can see by the way my muscles, the way exactly how much muscle definition shows, that my muscles couldn't possibly be flabby. It is impossible to have that solid of an abdomen, that solid of, that kind of definition in the arm, and for those muscles to be flabby. And we look at here, Bruce Lee flexing. You see that? I'm actually more defined in terms of my masculinity, in terms of aggressive, in terms of striking definition. Okay, my strikes are harder and they're faster than Bruce Lee. Consider distance, he's about 5'7", I'm 6'4", or he's 5'8", 6'4" versus 5'8". Okay, at first the numbers might not seem that big, but 5'8", 5'12" is 6 foot, okay? So that's 8 inches taller, and my reach is significantly longer. My height is more comparable to Michael Jordan than Bruce Lee. So I cover significantly more distance with a strike. So when you factor in distance especially, I strike faster. Okay. I put this right here. I'm not racist or cocky. They edit my pics covertly to reduce the appearance of my divine, monotheistic, masculine, heterosexual, transcendent, royal African falcon, martial prowess, right? Warrior prowess, martial art prowess, martial prowess. So I compare and explain. It's not because I'm racist or cocky. It's because they forced this by cheating me out of my right to lead in my rightful place. And I've had a martial art challenge. See, December 20th of this year will be the 10-year anniversary of it. 10 years by the year, and it'll be to the day on December 20th. Okay? And it's 10 million if I'm compensated, 60,000 if I'm not, if I'm allowed to recover. And obviously, when you look at this, logic would tell you that nobody can beat me. Okay, logic would tell you at sparring, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone could beat Bruce Lee when he was alive, in his prime. Nobody that ever was can beat me, and because they're cheating me out of a suitable helper, and they've been screening out the righteous for so long, no one's a valid martial artist in the future. In the future, they can't say, okay, now that all there's no descendants of the greatest martial artists ever, now let me see what I can do. Because over time, you get better and better. Each generation is the idea, right? Because it's evolution. So if you stop the evolution of people like me having a suitable helper, it's done. You can never pass them. Done. You're on some fairy, fakes nonsense and not true martial arts. Okay, now again, look at the comparison here, the back muscles. They edited to reduce appeal, to reduce definition, to reduce the appearance of striking prowess. And compare it to Jordan, who, if he gets in a squabble, he can squabble pretty well, but his body isn't made for that. It isn't forged doing martial arts strikes. My body was forged doing martial arts strikes. Here's 2012. Here's 2000. This is 2011 or 12. This is 2012. This is 2015. And they were sabotaging me the whole time. So through sabotage, with no one helping me out, not a celebrity, I forged the best martial art body ever, and they covertly edited it. Without sabotage, okay? You see what I'm saying? And people helping him. They had people helping him to some degree. He had martial arts school, had people helping him, assistants. I don't have anyone help me. You see what I'm saying? You got to do the proper comparison. The Lord detests dishonest scales, what have you. So let's go over here. The soldiers were mocking Christ. Why were they soldiers? Why wasn't it, a clown? Why wasn't it the governor? Why was it soldiers specifically when Jesus comes back in Revelation 19, okay, and wages war with righteousness and justice, with a double-edged sword of Scripture, and he's the root and offspring of David who took Goliath in single combat. Pretty straightforward. Here we see this guy. Now compare this guy, all right, 1, 2, 3, to me. I would make short work of him. I'd outmaneuver that guy in no time and slice him into nothing. And we know that for many, many reasons. One, consider this is a female swinging a bat. This is the military doing a stab. You can tell that they struggle with mind-body coordination, okay, compared to me. And this is, no one's sabotaging them. No one's reducing their picture. Sabotage, pictures reduced, fumed and poisoned, trying to get me on psych meds, you name it. Did a bunch of stuff to reduce my martial prowess. And still the top martial arts ever possible. Boom. No one in history comes anywhere near as close as I do to honestly deserving the title of the top martial arts ever possible. It is me, open and shut. Now here we look over here, right? Van Damme doing ballet. Van Damme may as well be wearing a thong on the fucking beach, doing a kick, trying to impress people. Chuck Norris looking gay. Chuck Norris with pink looking gay. Jackie Chan with pink looking gay. No offense to Jackie Chan. Donnie Yen, Esquire, right? Kind of gay bow tie, okay? Kind of gay occult look. Bruce Lee with some kind of whatever that is, okay? No disrespect to anyone in this video. I'm just straightening the facts. Again, I'm not racist or cocky, okay? They sabotage me and cheat me, and women are shunning me. I live with my parents, and I'm 40-something, and some people think that's something to make fun of or something, regardless of inflation, and it costs like $5,000 to for property taxes or to rent a house out here in Santa Clara County, the most expensive place to live, like on the planet, damn near, so to speak, right? It's extremely expensive compared to other places, okay? And they messed up my eyes to cause me to wear glasses and in a way that I'd be dumb to just leave on my own and say, hey, on the off chance, it just cost me a lot of money. They could blind me and I'd be in some strange town. So it made more sense to stay here, and California's the most populated state in one of the most populated countries in the world. There's like 39 million people here. So it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere hiding out. I'm scrambling, trying to tell people that Christ is back. And no, I don't have delusions of grandeur. For the same reason I'm right to not... the same reason I'm right to explain that I'm the top martial arts ever, okay, and I have overkilled it with facts and thousands of pictures and sources and so on and so forth, is the same reason I'm right that I'm Christ. It's my formula. When I make an extremely important claim, I go the distance to make sure I'm right and to overkill it. And again, I tell you for the umpteenth time, if you have a viable counterargument, if you think you do, I assure you no one does, then please state it. So I went the distance to say that. People with delusions of grandeur simply don't go the distance to make sure that they're right. They don't have sources. They don't have overwhelming proof. Okay, the definition of delusion is ignoring that something is true in the presence of overwhelming evidence. Okay, so the evidence, even this video alone, is overwhelming. Think about the thousands of other videos and angles I take to prove my point. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that, especially when you consider my focused moral intensity arguments and universal pinpoint and moral precision, phrase I've never seen anyone else use. They'll say it in a way that's theater art friendly. They won't say it in a way that insists on reality, that it highlights the stigmatization and the sabotage of black people who historically were the greatest warriors in history. The Zulus, right? Name one group of people with spears and with natural weapons compares to African tribes like the Zulus and the Igbos and so on and so forth. The Nubians, okay? They don't emphasize these things because they uphold white supremacy and token minorities who typically are more like white people. They uphold their cultures. My dad's from Nigeria. I'm born in America, but I'm second generation Nigerian. I'm mixed. I'm mulatto, like a mix like the ancient Egyptian people or something. Okay, but with a Nigerian, which is like the essence of Horus, sort of mix. Horus is a deity of not only justice and righteousness, where we see Martin Luther King, the offspring of, you know them by their works, their fruits, the fruit of the womb. Okay, the offspring of Nigeria. He's from my tribe. Okay, he descends from it. Okay, but also the fertility, right? The jungle versus the desert. So Horus is a deity of the fertile land. Set is a deity of the desert. Okay, so it overkills. And Horus is also a deity of Pharaoh. Thank you.